Friends, colleagues and listeners, here we are again, and we've got another session with another team member of Unilode. And with all teams, it's important to have different positions. So Steve, the person I'm talking to, Steve Williams, who's the Chief ESG and QHSC Officer. Steve, welcome. Really nice to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Now, what I'd like to start with is, obviously you've got a huge amount of experience, but the key words that we spoke about earlier, quality assurance, occupational health and safety, and sustainability, ESG. Can you just give me a little bit about that experience and why you think it's so important to Unilode?
Yeah, they're so different to one another, the functional responsibilities. However, they work in tandem with each other. Just taking the first element from a quality assurance perspective, within the aviation industry, it's imperative that every organisation operates to the highest of standards. Now, with us being a regulated organisation, every ULD that comes into our facility is rigorously inspected under the guise of either FAA, Part 145, EASA Part 145, or the local in-country Part 145 Civil Aviation Authority. With that, the demands on Unilode to produce the highest level of workmanship and product, it's imperative. So we work to those standards, but we also police our own standards in line with those standards, but sometimes we go above and beyond. Our internal quality assurance team, headed by our head of QA, April Northern, is global. It covers FAA, EASA, and in-country. We have internal processes that capture the same criteria, if you like, from an FAA and an EASA perspective that make sure our standards are not just at the level they need to be on an annual basis for an external audit, but that they're on point every second of every work order of every day, so that there is no discrepancy and continuity and consistency applies. So we're very proud of that, and our internal audit processes are rigorous by design, and we learn from them constantly. And it's important that we all do that in the aviation industry.
No, 100%. And the self-assessment element is even more crucial than following a checklist from any party, I think, anyhow, because it adds your own particular flavour. Now, with that focus, you guys must be so frustrated when you see the way some of the containers and pallets are being handled.
The frustration is an understatement at times. I'm not going to shy away from the frustration. And it's extremely frustrating at times because we obviously live and breathe and care ULDs, as I believe everybody should, because of the regulatory status of that ULD and the respect it deserves to ensure its flight safety. It's also a product that needs care, right? It's not a disposable asset. It's an owned asset which airlines use, ground handlers handle, we maintain, repair and manage the dispositioning of. So I think there's a lot of work that we can do as an organisation with our partners to educate the reasons why preventative handling assists longevity of a product and the flight safety. So yes, the frustrations are real. Are we going to be defeated by it? No. We'll see an improvement. The governing bodies as well as stakeholders, airlines, Unilode, we've got a long way to go, but we're on that journey.
But it's a great challenge, and I've been in the business a long time, and I was part of ULD Care. And I always believed whenever I was going around representing the carrier, you can tell the type of character and even the leadership of some of the handlers by the way they handle their equipment. And some of the things I've seen, I just think, my goodness me, how can you make people more aware of what's actually happening there, either from a cost perspective, the safety perspective, but just also the general way or the character or the DNA or the culture of the business. And I mean, you guys are bang on to see exactly what's going on.
Yeah, we are.
So by you creating some sort of awareness and purpose, etc., around the why, I think that's so important.
Yeah, we've got some massive advocates within our organisation that deal with our customers on a daily basis. And Irma, director of our customer service team in Europe, is a huge voice in terms of how do we and who do we work with externally to Unilode to increase that level of knowledge, to your point. I think it needs to be all of those elements you mentioned, not just aviation safety, not just damage prevention from a cost point of view. It needs to be holistic. Now, I believe people do know, because people in life don't intentionally, in the main, mishandle or damage. I think the pressure of, or perceived pressure of individuals by organisations make, turnaround times, right? They're crucial airside. But we can never sacrifice safety for speed in anything that we do, whether it's handling or internally. It's a really important part. So I think we need to educate from a cultural perspective in terms of care. And I think we also need to just take stock of time pressures. Maybe do a little bit more forward planning. And I don't mean Unilode per se, but the organisations. How do we plan better to execute better so that we're not rushing at the last mile?
100%. And another thing that always used to frustrate me is when you go around and you look at airports and how they do or don't support the storage capability, areas, etc. But you also look at carriers themselves who've got so much overstock in certain locations, and all that's doing is congesting and making it even more difficult to have organisation. So that awareness or that naivety as to what's happening, or the leverage or pressure that a carrier can put on a handler, I mean, that all adds up to to more difficulty in handling the overall package. I think it's
I agree. I think ULD management, and I mean this in the context of airside ULD management, airport authorities, designated area for storage, airlines, stock. We are doing a massive amount of work on both fronts there, working with local authorities, particularly at Heathrow, in terms of areas to secure ULDs for better identification, better damage identification in terms of repairing, but also from the perspective of customers, airlines. As well, our solution from a pooling perspective assists an airline in having accessibility to the most optimum amount of ULDs at any given time, hence then would reduce overstock at airports. So, I mean, look, that's one of the many benefits, but it is a benefit. Congestion, ULDs sitting, hanging around airside for a month is no good for anyone. Cost airline, optimization and repairability and damage prevention. It's crucial that we have them working and being cared for constantly is utopia.
Let me ask you another question, if I may. I've been involved in awarding lots of pooling options with the various companies that I've been with. But what I found is that there's a genuine lack of understanding around the whole concept and why it's important. Not just because of the initial change of asset ownership, etc. But there's a genuine naivety as to what the benefits can be. And do you think those benefits are well enough presented to the people who should possibly be more involved in the ultimate decision?
I think historically, no. But most recently, yes. And I can speak from Unilode's perspective only here. The engagement we have now, and probably have had over the past 18 months with regards to pooling solutions and the benefits of those solutions, and even the dispositioning management and all the many attributes of a pooling model, airlines are extremely interested because we offer now tangible and evidenced reasons as to why pooling is of benefit to a customer, rather than it just be a concept or a potential item of a tool belt that a customer could select. There's science behind the choice to use a pooling model, and it's bringing that science to life and transferring the data points into the benefits that a customer can gain from it. And we express that well, and every customer is different globally, and we respect that. We have very specific relationships with our airline partners, our customers, and they're all different. They have different requirements, and we will solutioneer to their requirements to ensure that their ULD management program is as efficient as it can be from a ROI perspective, from a KPI perspective, and overall level of service is crucial. So in summary, in answer to your question, this last 18 months to 2 years, Unilode have for sure worked closer with airlines on expressing the importance of a pooling model, providing it works for the customer. And we expect that when we do have those discussions, we'll exhaust them and present the utopia of a solution to them.
Yeah, and also the amount of data that you guys are able to produce now it's incredible.
Yeah, it is. We collect data from, not just IATA messaging as was, right, but that's developed hugely over the past couple of years with regards to our digital program. The digitization of our fleet has been exponential and will continue to do so, continue to grow that piece. The data that we can and do capture, and now how and where we house that data for accessibility and reporting perspective, is really useful to us as an organisation to maximise our efficiency. But it's also really, really important for the airline to understand their ULD and cargo business better. So it's their data coming into our systems, being presented back to them in a way that they can digest and understand it, and we work together on that. It's not two separate parties anymore, it's one.
Yeah, no, I think that's the way forward. And it adds to the storyline of why somebody needs to do something and the benefits that they get from doing it with specialists, which at the end of the day,
there's a holistic benefit and story to ULD management. It's not just a piece. We look at ULD management, cradle to grave, and I don't just mean the product itself, I mean the solution that lies within it. And we are involved at every stage and every discussion with the customer on that front. So, the customers, as I said earlier, the customer's requirements are bespoke and they have priorities. We make sure that we deliver to those. With customer A, customer B might be slightly different. Customer C may just have one key priority, but we make sure that we can flex and be scalable and be innovative with our customers. Gone are the days where here's a solution, take it or leave it. No. That's not what Unilode are about.
Yeah, no, it's got to be a lot more tailor-made. Now, a little segue, taking us into sustainability and obviously caring about the unit. If you care about the unit, you've got less repairs, less waste, etc., etc. Sustainability is important to you guys as well, isn't it?
No, it's crucial. It's one of our core business priorities. And I think it's really important, and I take any opportunity with regards to sustainability, because it could be considered a buzzword, and I think in some organisations it is. In our organisation, it's not, and we've been very clear about that from the offset with regards to our commitment to sustainability. Our objective is driven by our want rather than by a perceived need or by an industry buzzword or a must. Where the must exists, of course we will do it. But our want goes further than the we must do. We genuinely believe as an organisation, and those people that work daily within our organisation, that sustainability is crucial. It just so happens that of course it's crucial for our customers also. So we align there, we have priorities, they have priorities, and we work closer together with regards to sustainability. We all have a part to play in it. We can't just work in isolation. It's impossible for us to cumulatively succeed with regards to sustainability if we stay in our lane. There is no lane with sustainability. It covers every part of our organisation and every part of our customers. To the point where we don't just stop there either, right? We've got our supply chain are a crucial part of improving the sustainability of the life cycle of a ULD. The sourcing of raw material, the manufacturing processes. That life cycle assessment is crucial. The majority of our Scope 3 emissions are born from our supply chain. And we're in a really fortunate position that we can work with customers and supply chain alike to monitor, manage, identify areas to improve on sustainability. And when I talk of sustainability in this context, I talk about predominantly the reduction of CO2 into the environment that we can control or influence. It's crucial that we all do that. How do we assist our supply chain? How do they assist us and our customers? How do our customers propose solutions that would assist them in reducing their Scope 3? So it's all very intrinsically linked, but it's a core priority for Unilode and always will be. It's not here for a period of time. It's part of our business and it's integrated.
And I think it makes sense in your business to be part of that storyline because, like, to be honest with you, I get really frustrated and I listen to all these people with quotas this and quotas that, and this is going to happen and we're going to plant trees here, there, and everywhere. I believe if people were more efficient and they did things more accurately and they did things more simply and people were aware of it, by that very nature, you're going to help with the sustainability.
I agree with you.
And that also helps with profitability.
Yeah, it does.
And nobody is going to be looking after the world if they're not making money.
Yeah, I agree.
And all this business about putting things first, planet, it's profit.
Yeah.
People have got to make money
Yeah.
to be able to invest in things that are right.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think if that's part of the DNA and the culture, it makes so much more sense. And it also gives people a reason and a purpose rather than all the greenwashing that goes on everywhere.
Yeah, yeah.
So I think fair play to you.
Thank you.
Now, as far as that's concerned, and I would imagine you've got a heavy focus on that in your own internal self-assessment.
Yeah, yeah, we do.
So when you find out that other parties in that supply chain are not as focused as they could or should be, are you able to present an awareness and an understanding that might make, the old lights come on in some of these people, which wouldn't have normally happened? Do you do that as part of your sort of obligation or challenge to the business?
We do. Every quarter we meet with our supply chain. Not every supplier or partner of Unilode, because we have many, right? But our tier one core suppliers, OEMs, for example. And as part of our QBRs with our OEMs, a standing agenda item is sustainability. That was embedded within our QBR process 18 months ago and will go nowhere. It will only develop over time. And as part of that very first meeting, I remember it was in this room, we invited all of our tier one suppliers in over a 2-day period. In fact, it was over a 5-day period that we set the ground rules and expectations. But more importantly, we had a very open conversation about where are we, Unilode, on the sustainability journey and where do we want to get to? And we want the same from you, Mr. Supplier or Mrs. Supplier. Where are you? It doesn't matter where you are, just let's find out where you are so that we can work with you or at least identify what your roadmap is so that we can, A, make sure it's aligned with our core values of sustainability, and B, see how we can work with you to guide, support, help. And look, we're very, very open also to receive that advice, support and help from our supply chain. To my earlier point, we all must work together. We're all at different levels of maturity with regards to sustainability. It's delightful to report, I guess, on the back of those QBRs and that very first meeting that our tier one suppliers take sustainability seriously. The bulk of them have had themselves assessed internally from an EcoVadis rating perspective, which is great for me and our team because that means that they are open to external review, guidance and action to go to the next step. So when they have their next annual review, they will have improved, which is fabulous. This is about growth and improvement and reduction of CO2, but before that reduction element, it's about growth and improvement and keeping sustainability on the radar.
It's brilliant. And any team that competes, whether it's in business or sport or whatever, they love to get recognised and they love to win. And for me, winning is important in every walk of life. Now, you guys, you've won Sustainable Provider of the Year 4 years in a row.
Great week.
Firstly, brilliant.
Thank you.
All right. But secondly, and I would imagine now, and we haven't met for long, but I would imagine you'd be looking at first year we won, why did we win? How do we then keep pushing the bar up so that we win again? And then why did we win again? And then why did we win again? What are you focusing on now to try and make sure that you win for the 5th time?
It's a great question. And my first reaction, and taking it back, the team internally have worked wonders with regards to maintaining our sustainability position and improving it. But they've not done it by looking at what is required of them from a sustainability perspective, because we've embedded it within our business. They're working really hard every single day in line with our requirements, our customer requirements and our deliverables. So that then, by virtue of the fact, naturally makes sure that we're sustainable. To the point of progression and ensuring that we win again next year, rewinding there, we will continue to stick to our strategic program with regards to sustainability, regardless of Freight Week award category and criteria. I know that over the next 12 months, we'll continue to achieve. And when it comes to submissions of our strategy deliverables, end of mid-26, looking back for the next award section, I know that we will have achieved, and that Freight Week, when marking or people voting for us, will see what we've achieved.
Yeah.
Of course, it would be amazing to win year after year after year, but what we're winning is, to your point, is recognition.
Yeah.
We will only ever win in sustainability is if every single party in that mix does exactly what they are saying that they're going to do.
Yep.
We're all winners there.
Yep.
We're recognised as winners because of our efforts and deliverables. We will continue to work tirelessly, and I believe those targets and efforts and objectives will naturally ensure that we're recognised again next year.
Yeah.
Please don't hold me to that.
No, but
I'm confident.
Yeah, but it's a little bit like Manchester City or United in the old days or whatever. You know, when they're so used to winning, you have that winning mentality.
Yeah.
And everybody wants to do well.
Yeah.
And I think that's a wonderful thing, because everybody that's part of the same sector is brought along with those heightening of standards.
There's no loser, right?
No, not at all.
Those organisations that had nominations, they had nominations for tangible reasons. They were nominated because they are sustainable. That's brilliant. That means that we've got a lot of sustainable organisations doing great work in our sector. No losers. Everyone's contributing.
And I would imagine everything else is sort of pushing you forward, and you're pushing them forward.
It elevates everybody.
And the whole group is doing what they should be doing in the first place. So.
And I think that's. I sent a note to Freight Week with regards to the category of this award, not about the award being given to Unilode, but the fact that they're keeping sustainability in the spotlight.
Exactly.
Without that, would all organisations be doing what they are currently doing? Now, I don't know the answer. I would imagine some maybe not, and others, of course, they would continue, and I would put Unilode in that bucket. But it keeps it live, it keeps it relevant, it keeps it honest. And the fact that people externally to Unilode vote for those organisations, I think it's good. It allows an element of independence, but it does drive us. It drives us all.
I think it's good. And the most important thing is that people do it right for the right reasons at the right time, with the right understanding of why they're doing it. And then it comes to life. Otherwise, it's just the whip and the tell principle, which I don't think lasts long enough.
I don't.
Fair play to you. Well done. It's been an absolute pleasure listening to you.
Yeah.
And thank you very, very much for your time.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.
Same to you. Thank you.